our special show on Karnataka elections. Today we will talk about the Lingayat community in Karnataka. The Lingayats, originally a subsect in the Hindu religion, are now a religious minority. An in-principle nod from the Congress government in Karnataka has opened the Pandora's box in Karnataka politics. BJP accuses Congress of divide and rule, and Congress in return says that demands have emanated from the community itself and that it wasn't the Congress that manufactured it. The influence this community will have in the upcoming elections is tremendous. So much so that even the Indian Prime Minister, who is currently in London, couldn't stay away from it. I'm Mr. Virendra.
And I'm Kartikeya Sharma.
Well, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paid his respects to the 12th century Lingayat saint, Basaveshwara, on the banks of the River Thames in London. The meaning of this gesture is not lost on anyone. Lingayats are an important community in northern Karnataka and form a strong voter base. BJP's former chief minister in the state, B.S. Yediyurappa, also belongs to the community. Well, if you remember, back in 2015, it was Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself who had unveiled the statue of Basaveshwara in London. Let me tell you why this gesture is important. Well, Basaveshwara was a 12th century social reformer and a poet. He was a Shiva-focused Bhakti reformer. He was also against the caste system and was of the firm opinion that men and women are equal. Well, the traditional legends also say that he is the founder of the Lingayats. Unlike other Bhakti movements within Hinduism, the Lingayats evolved the structure and attacked the root problem within Hinduism. Karnataka government in principle accepted the demand to give them a separate religious status and forwarded the recommendation to the centre where it lies today.
Now, keeping in mind the political equation, the Congress party in the state has sought a minority religion status for the community from the centre. What it basically means is that now a sect within Hinduism wants to be a religion itself. And with this, the trouble began for Bharatiya Janata Party. And it's very, very simple. If BJP does not side with this issue, then they will lose a large voter base. One that could prove crucial for the upcoming election, because Mr. Yediyurappa himself is a Lingayat. There have been 5 chief ministers who have been Lingayat. And if they do, then it damages the pitch of cultural nationalism and dilutes the charge of Congress trying to divide Hindus, which means that if they don't support it here, then it is a problem in Karnataka. And if they support it here, then it's a problem in states like Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, where sort of a resurgent cultural nationalism is a plank on which Bharatiya Janata Party is fighting elections. But to get into the nitty-gritties of the issue, the political analysts actually see this differently.
Definitely we are different from Hindus. This is point one. Point two, it is not a new religion at all. It is existing for 900 years. Now, point three, it is not a new movement at all. Simply because it coincides part of the period with elections, this misinterpretation going on. As a matter of fact, this movement did not start 2 months back. It started 1 year back. Incidentally, it dragged on because response from the establishment, both central and the state, was slow. So it dragged on until December, and then they were forced by the massive, uprising to look into it legally.
The Lingayats are a dominant community within them. Whether you look at it in terms of the influence within villages, the ability to control villages. In areas where they are influential, their influence within the village, in both numerically and economically, is very strong within that. In addition, they are a very structured and organized community. The Matas have a great deal of influence. They've always had an element of charity built into them. They offer free food for anyone who is hungry at any point of time. And they also have a way of extending education. They're probably the most important sources of investment in higher education in northern Karnataka in particular, as well as in some parts of the south. So they are a major influence, not just economically, but also through the realm of ideas. Right? They're able to control thinking and they're able to influence thinking, even if not completely control it.
Well, as Mr. Jamdar went on to point out there, it is the timing of this decision that has really come into question. Now, Lingayats form a very strong vote bank of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and going into the elections, having a divided community could work against them and could work against their chief ministerial candidate, who is today the tallest Lingayat leader of the state. Is that right, Karthikeya?
You see, it's you have to see this very, very historically. Now, if I say that, can there be a religion born in India through a legal constitutional political measure, I would say that this religion will be the first religion in the world which is born out of a constitutional office, which will be born out of a political act which is legally sanctified by the courts. If you look at the way, see, India or the Indian subcontinent is a place where Buddhism, Jainism, Hinduism and Sikhism have been born. But they were born in relation with each other, and sometimes it's a struggle. You look at Hinduism, it's a way of life. It amalgamates caste and other things. Jainism and Buddhism came in reaction to the Brahmanical Hinduism. That is why there was a great focus on non-violence. And when Hinduism was about household, the Jainism and Buddhism was about monastic life. And then came Sikhism. It was directly opposed to the Islam practiced by the Mughal nobility. Now you have a demand which is emanating from a political order which is Mathas, and they want political recognition. And if you look at the history of Abrahamic religions, which is Judaism, Islam and Christianity, they have been born in context of contest with each other. So this is a new experiment which is taking place. But what it does is, it creates legal, moral and religious questions. And the issue is, Hinduism is an amalgamation of sects and subsects. They have an autonomy, but they are part of it. But in this context, the decision will redefine the relationship of sects with the broader theme of Hinduism, which is way of life, forever.
Absolutely. In fact, moving forward, Karthikeya, the demand for the Lingayat community is certainly not new there.
Absolutely. See, if we talk about the demand of the Lingayat community, it is not new. And the timing is something which is new. The timing is crucial as Congress is seeking its second term in Karnataka and retaining the state, crucial for the party to maintain its footprint in the country. But there has to be a context to this, and the context is that the demand for the recognition of this came 2 years before. So there was a committee also, and that committee gave its recommendation, which is accepted by the cabinet of the state and has gone to the center. Now, in context of what this means, 6 Karnataka chief ministers are of Lingayat origin. Karnataka has an assembly of 224, and Lingayats a deciding factor in 100 seats. They make up for 17% of the state population, and economically the community has done well for itself. Lingayats dominate the Bombay Karnataka region of the state, and that's their stronghold. Like Vocal Leggas in the south, which is the former Mysore region, Nishchita, the southern part, the Kaveri belt, the northern part, which is Bombay Karnataka, which is now called Hyderabad Karnataka, it's Lingayats.
Absolutely, but it is not as easy as an issue as the Congress would like to portray it, because even within this community there is a divide. There are the Lingayats who are in favor, at least a majority of them, a substantial population of the Lingayats is in favor of this demand. But then there is the very influential Veerashaiva community who believe that Basavanna was not the founder of this community, but was merely a reformer who came in the 12th century when the religion already existed, when the community already existed. So clearly there is a divide there. The Veerashaiva community in Karnataka also considers itself as followers of Basavanna but follow the caste system. They feel that this sect should remain part of Hinduism. Lingayats, on the other hand, don't feel the same, as they feel that the Veerashaiva sect has subverted the teachings of its founders, leading to theological division.
So much so, in due course, you found A. Lingayats being no different from Hindus, B, even if there was a separate order that they established out of order, loyalty or commitment to the philosophies of Basava and his followers, there was a creation of a parallel caste system within Lingayats.
Right.
Thus, if you go especially to northern Karnataka, but throughout Karnataka, you will find Lingayat Badigas, that's the carpenters, Lingayat barbers or hairdressers, Lingayat bangle makers, Lingayat trader, Lingayat this. So just as you had a Hindu social order with a hierarchy of castes, here too you found a hierarchy of castes.
So, when we talk about the social scientists or the political scientists, the bottom line is, how do politicians see this whole issue? The JDS, the BJP and the Congress party all have their position on this issue. Let's take a listen in as to what the politicians in Karnataka think of this issue.
Let me be very clear on the Lingayat issue. It is an issue that the community has been raising for the last several years. It is not an issue we created. And the timing of the issue was not selected by us. Let us be clear. Don't put us on the defensive on this. Let me make the facts very clear. It's an old issue. It has been around for a while. And in fact, the Lingayat community invited Chief Minister to a function about 2 years ago to felicitate him. At the function, the Lingayat community as a whole asked that they be given a separate religion status. Chief Minister only responded to that call and said yes. So let us understand very clearly, the call for recognition of a separate religion came from the Lingayat community, and that existed for more than a decade. We did not create that issue.
BJP is the only party which has projected a Veershaiva Lingayat as their chief minister. What Lingayats or Veershaivas will get if a party which is anti all these religions and anti upper caste so far, how can they support? Siddaramaiah, they know that he is trying to divide the religion, but there are few people for their own reason they may be supporting, but the number will be so minuscule that we are not worried politically. Even if some people feel that yes, what is wrong in getting a separate religion and some of the facilities, even those people have said that, but we will vote for BJP, we will vote for Yediyurappa.
So, this is what the politicians have to say about this issue. But my colleague Nishchita Virendra takes you through the nitty-gritty of this issue and as to how it's impacting the fortunes of the political parties in the upcoming assembly elections in the state of Karnataka.
Well, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has largely been credited for his ability to consolidate the Ahinda votes, which are the votes from the OBCs, the SC/STs, as well as the minority community. But the 2013 elections were very different in comparison to the one that are looming large in Karnataka, as this time around, the BJP has the combined force of B.S. Yediyurappa, the tallest Lingayat leader in the state. So even a slight fluctuation in the Lingayat community votes, even a slight portion of it goes in favor of the Congress, then the Congress will benefit a great deal. Now today is Basava Jayanti, and as we know, Amit Shah was earlier today garlanding the Basavanna statue in Karnataka, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi also visited the Basavanna statue on the banks of the river Thames and garlanded that bust as well. While the BJP claims that this is purely being done to celebrate Basava Jayanti, one can easily construe this as a symbolic move where the BJP is trying to show its Lingayat electorate, trying to woo its Lingayat electorate while simultaneously ensuring that it is not taking a clear stand on the separate religion status.